Hello, good evening. Happy Friday. Welcome to Easy 8's online painting club. I caught myself a little unaware. Again, I'm such a rubbish broadcaster. It was just taking a little bit too long to connect, and all of a sudden it went, "You're on." Okay, I had a bit of a panic. I'm really sorry for that intro. Hi, my name's Danny. It says it right at the bottom of the screen. This is Easy 8's online painting club. It's another Friday. Thank you very much for coming along. I can see some people over there in the live chat already. Jeff Lacey, Leslie Stebbing, Krista Wolf and Luke Gallia. Nice to see you all again. Thank you ever so much for coming along today. I hope everybody is well. It's been a really hot week. It's been bonkers. Work's been crazy. It's been really good, but it's just so hot for the average British person. I just can't deal with it anymore. It's been like averaging 32 degrees in the shade, and there's just no escaping it. But at least the weather's been nice, right? So today, got lots of exciting things to be getting on with, some exciting news that we'll get into in just a moment. Got a few interesting things to do today. We're actually, if you've seen the scheduling for today on Facebook and on YouTube, of course, we've got some customer builds to do today, which is going to be really exciting. Really looking forward to getting into that. Of course, this isn't a tutorial, a channel at all. So if that's what you've come here to look, or that's what you're expecting, it's just a painting club. It's for you to kind of have on in the background and just kind of get chatting if you wanted to with the people over there in the live chat, kind of share some ideas, maybe, you know, celebrate some work that you recently done, or maybe to pick up some inspiration or motivation. That's kind of what this is all about. Have it on the background for the next 2 hours and just kind of crack on and do what you're going to do. If you're just watching later on in playback or just kind of being quiet to yourself, that's cool too. Whatever you like. You can follow us on Facebook, you can follow us on Instagram, and of course here on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, please, hit the subscribe button. Every little bit helps this channel immensely. And of course, you can follow us and like us on Facebook as well, and on Instagram too. But subscribe. Adrian Dean's joined in as well. Greetings, one and all. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming along. Already, it is getting hot in this room. That window is open. I've had the door open in there. You gotta keep the black shirt and the white t-shirt on. It's just a part of the brands now, isn't it? Gotta do it, but oh my god, I'm sweating already. So last week it was so hot in here. It was a little cooler than it is now, but I thought it would have worked really well with drying the paints. It did not. It was a nightmare. Yeah, but the stuff that I was painting last week obviously has dried since. That would be ridiculous if it didn't. There'd be something very wrong with the painting or whatever. And what I've painted last week looks really good. You can see it just here. And we're going to get into that in just a moment. Cool. So, some exciting news about next week. I'm on holiday next week, so I'm not going to be here on Friday. The world's returning to normal. I'm going away for a few days. I'm going to be in and out of the house and going across the country and coming back and whatever. But on that Friday evening, I'm just not going to be here. I'm actually going to go and have dinner with my nan. She's like 83 or something like that. I haven't seen her for ages throughout the pandemic, and she's getting a family get together. So I'm going to go and say hello to her. And then I'm going to be on my holiday proper. So yeah, not going to be here. Now I'm trying to do what I've done in the past, where I've not been able to do the show on the Friday, and I'm hoping to get it done on the Thursday. That does mean arranging some things at work, and it's all very chaotic at work, and I can never really plan that far ahead. So it's just about a sensible communication on my part with my colleagues and my boss, and just making sure that I have that evening free to be able to come here and do this, and then have the Friday evening to go and see my nan, and just make sure that everything all works out. You know how it is, man. We've all got lives, right? So I've just got to try and make that work. However, what I will do is I will make sure that I communicate that with you, the community, on Facebook, which is my common outlet for communication and things like that. So be sure to keep an eye on Facebook over the coming days. Also, next week, Kyle should be joining us. I'm really stoked. Spoke to him just a couple of hours ago. He's really excited. He's a qualified teacher. He did it, man. It's so cool. He's really happy. He's got himself a little summer job, which is just bit of beer money in the pocket, which is lovely. And then come term time, he's going to be working full time. That has allowed him to start freeing up his hobby time, which is what he so wanted. So Kyle, we're going to speak to you soon on air, but if you're watching this back, well done, mate. Really proud of you. Absolutely stoked for you that it's all paid off, because that guy worked so hard. So hard. It was just, he had to give up all his hobby time for it. He was going to come today, but he's actually going out for a celebratory meal. Why not? Go and do it, man. Go and do it. Hopefully he can join us on the Thursday, if the Thursday goes well. Otherwise it's going to be another fortnight. But yeah, we should have Carl on next week. We should be on Thursday. That's the short story of that one. Thursday, Kyle. Cool. To know what you are up to today. So whatever it is that you're making, painting, whatever it is, if you just got it on in the background and you're just chilling out doing a crossword, let us know. I'd love to know what you're doing. It's great to know that you are just kind of having us on in the background, being a part of the community. Really hoping that the community starts building up a bit more again, because I've got some really cool projects lined up, leading right through for the next 6 months. Got some ideas, and it's just about having the community there to back it up. And it's all about obviously having the time to do it. And as we move into winter, I know that's kind of some time away, but I'm kind of thinking that far ahead. So yeah, maybe grab a friend, bring them along, spread the word, get it out there on forums, on groups, wherever it is you talk to, wherever it is you go. If you've got friends who are into hobbies, hopefully painting hobbies, but whatever it is, spread the word, get it out there, because I know that we're a big community and it is so cool to bring everyone together. Make it happen, you guys. Chris the Wolf says, hey, good job. Yeah, man, Kyle is it. Yeah, he doesn't sound anywhere near as tired as he has done in the past. Good for him. Cool. Cheers. It's a tea for you. Let's go over to the workbench and have a look at all the cool stuff that's going on over here. So, where is it? Workbench. Boop. Here we go. Cool. Oh, just a workbench at the moment, nothing on it. Here's the thing that I was doing last week. Oh, Chris the Wolf said, doing the dragon again. Yeah, man, that dragon looks epic. You showed me on Discord last week. It looks epic. You should definitely put some more pictures up as you go on. It was brilliant. This is the Eldar Webway Portal that I did last week. There's a few tea stain kind of things on it, which I was trying to avoid as best as possible, but it just wouldn't dry. So as I manipulated that, I was just making more and more marks that were just making ring marks, and then I just had to leave it eventually, and yeah, it just kind of dried like that. However, not an entirely bad effect that came up. If I just move my lights away a little bit, actually stops it being so powerfully white. There we go. Cool. Luke says, got my my night base on the go. It's the size of my hand. Yay for Poundland paints. Yeah, absolutely, man. Go get those cheap paints for things like basing. Absolutely. Yeah, really like the color that came out on it. I've been thinking about doing some, bits of decorative painting to it. I really wanted to keep it simple for so many reasons. The first and the most important one to me is it took just a few minutes to make, and it's not really that great condition, so I don't want to spend ages and ages doing something. I'm going to dirty it up and make it like it's ancient, sat in some grassland somewhere, like you kind of, on a new world, no inhabitants around, just rolling fields or meadows, or rolling hills for miles and miles and miles, and all of a sudden there's just this just sat there. So yeah, not going to make it like really mucky, unless it starts to look really cool if I start doing it by accident. The idea is just to kind of dirty it up a little bit. However, a couple more bits and pieces that I want to do with it. I want to make these little gemstones black, so I'm going to pitch black those out at some point. I don't know when I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll do that tonight, I don't know. And I would like to make them glossy in the future as well. So when the weathering goes over it, it would just kind of blend away a little bit. But the idea is just to have these like lifeless stones in there. And then there's this little feature under here, this kind of paneling, if you like, this archway paneling. It's the only thing on it that looks less biological. And I was showing my partner this like after the show last week, and she said the same thing. She was like, oh, this all looks very sort of like bone shaped, biological, somewhere in between mechanical and biological, but this bit here just kind of stands out, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, this doesn't look the same as the rest of it. So I was thinking about doing this in some sort of metallic color. Most of my metallics are either golds or silvers, so I thought maybe I'll try and do it some sort of bronzy color and just make it look a little bit different than what all the rest of my paint works and things look like. Just make it stand out a little bit, or just do you know what I'm trying to say? It's not trying to make it look the same as all my other metallics, and just kind of make it sit out a little bit from the rest of this bone color on here. So I've been looking at all the different metallics that I've got. I've had these out before. If you remember, some episodes ago now, I painted up a little Terminator model that I had, Space Marine Terminator, and I was just playing around with all the different metallics I had with Kyle, and then I sent it to him so he could kind of get an idea of what he wanted with his Space Marines. So I've got my silvers. I've got a gunmetal, which is a really dark silver, a chainmail silver, which is like a mid-tone, and a really bright silver, which is almost chromy. Doesn't have a chrome effect, but it's that kind of brightness to it. And then I've got a couple of golds. I've got a glorious gold, and I've got a polished gold, and you can see the differences here. there's some nice effects there. Where I was thinking about going was with one of these, Brassy Brass, if you remember Brassy Brass, the comments that we had, me and Kyle, that one, and Bright Bronze. Bright Bronze is the one that Kyle and I liked the most on that Terminator model, and I do like it. It's a really nice colour. It's a little lighter than the Brassy Brass, which has just got a great name to it. So yeah, I might play around with that a little bit. However, another good thing to do that I thought would just maybe do it in one of the two lighter of the silver colours, and then add some more sepia tone to it at the wash, which is what I used over the whole structure here, and that might kind of blend it in again. I'm not going to do it just yet because I've got some other bits and pieces that I want to do first, so I'd love to know what your input is on that. Shall I do it silver? Shall I do it gold? Shall I do it brassy bronze colour? Should I apply a wash? I've got some washes to apply over it. I've also got an Army Painter blue tone shade. It works in exactly the same way as the Citadel washes do, but I could make it go cooler. Maybe that would detract away from the warm colour of this. Maybe that would suit it. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will look alien and break everything up. Who knows? Lots of things to consider. Would love to know your input on it. So do drop a line into the live chat there and let me know your thoughts. And as a community, let's do something together. That'd be kind of fun. Let me get rid of these paints here, move them to the side. I've got so many things lined up on the side here. It's all really exciting. Okay. Some comments going in. Leslie says, "Good job for Kyle. I'm using Milliput for the first time to get over to put over 6mm scale buildings. Loving it so far." Yeah, Milliput is an outstanding alternative to green stuff. You can get it in different grades as well, and some hobbyists actually enjoy putting both green stuff and Milliput together to get different blends. Kind of, allows it to be softer in the hands, and it kind of hardens it different rates as well. So have a little play if you've got mixtures of the two. Jeff says the brass is closer to the bone colour. Yeah, and then Luke's gone in and say maybe a brassy iron. Brassy iron. Yeah, I could do. Have a think. Anyway, something new for this show is Jeff Lacey, as we all know, is my dad. Chris says, go for the brass colour. Okay, we'll go for the brass colour. Jeff Lacey's my dad. Hi, Dad. He's there in the comments. Owns Purple Line Creations, makes a lot of terrain, a lot of buildings in bespoke orders for customers all over the world. People who watch the show have ordered from him before, and I've got some bits and pieces of terrain here from him that I'm going to add some crackle paint to for a customer. Now these pieces are really, really simple yet really, really effective desert pieces of terrain. There he is. Jeff says hi. Leslie also says, yeah, it's so much cheaper and really and really green stuff in Milliput. Cheers for the info, dude. Yeah, no worries, man. Just what's the worst that's gonna happen? Put it together, have a play, see what you think. So here are these terrain pieces. These are made for a customer. They are almost at the point to go to them. There are 4 of these pieces. This is a middle-sized piece here. It is really fascinating. Basically, the customer have these plastic palm trees, and they're really good for what they are. They kind of got these plasticky bases here. I think these leaves are like a paper card, perhaps, and they've all been doctored and painted, and just a really simple effect for the customer and put on the base, just to kind of break up that little desert terrain. This one's got some stones making a little cavey hole here. Probably some Tyranids in there. It's not for Tyranids, it's historical, I think, but definitely some Tyranids in there, and some little grassy tufts over it, just to kind of break it all up. Really simple, really, really effective. The smallest piece that I've got is this one here with a cat hair. Sorry about that, Mr. Customer, whoever you are. This piece here's got a couple of palm trees, really, really small piece, and a little pond to go with it. A really simple pond effect, but really, really stands out, really works. I like the color shift as well. So you've got these really warm but really, really light tones, and then a slight cooler, shinier thing to draw the eye away over here. Again, these palm trees, smaller one and the bigger one here, really working and paying each other off there. It's just a really nice couple of bits and pieces just to break up your table. Some rockier slabs. Now we were both looking at these two earlier on when I went to go pick these up, and we think that this one here hasn't got anywhere where the crackle paint for dried soil, wet riverbeds or whatever is going to go. and less is more, really. You don't want to overdo it. So we're going to leave these two. I just kind of wanted to show you what they were, because I think they're really, really cool. And it's nice to give a little bit of, you know, a little bit of credit to people's work as well. To actually have it here in the studio is really, really nice. I don't think this is worth putting any crackle paint on this one here. There are places where it could possibly go on the sides of these slabs maybe, but it's just, it'll be overkill, I think. However, let's not get rid of these two. There's a little box of them down here. I'll just drop them down. Oh, it's so hot in here. I'm just trying to ignore it. Okay, you can go in there. So I've got these other two. Now, here's another middle-sized piece here. It has 4 palm trees on. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a nice little pool in the middle, with some rocks on the side, all sculpted, I believe, from clay, if I'm right in saying that. And then there's this little patch here. Just wonder if we can see in the lights. Here we go. So there's this little flat patch here, which has just been kind of created for putting the crackle paint in. The idea is that this probably would have been filled with water, and then over time it's kind of dried up in the heat or whatever, and it will be leaving this bit all kind of cracked and, you know, the standard, you know, African, or yeah, African. I believe it's probably supposed to be North African, but it could be any desert, I suppose. Typical kind of delta bed, or whatever you want to call it, really. So we're going to put a bit in here and see how that goes, and then we've got the largest piece, which is a real nice thing to draw the eye away. Got this huge pond here with this little river bed bank bit that just kind of goes all the way around the side over here. So yeah, we're going to put some more on this one too. It's really nice mottled colours in here. I like it's quite bright actually in the studio. I don't know if the camera picks it up well enough. Looks like a little hair just there. Let's get rid of that one. Cool. And there's some nice little features just down on the side over here. Like we've got some nice little rocks and things, and a little pot. I love it. Little water jug. It's wonderful, and some nice little bushes and, you know, shrubs, or whatever you want to call them. So yeah, basically we're just going to put some all the way along here, and on the other one we're going to try it in here. Now I've got a couple of different products for this. This is probably the one that I would use. I use this one the most. This is the Green Stuff World Crackle Paint. We were talking about it and wondering if we could get away without painting it afterwards, but I suggest probably painting it, because no matter what the colours are, they're not really going to blend properly, and they're going to be flat colours, so it's nice to probably apply some colour over the top. However, like an undercoat, it's nice to have a colour that best suits it. So there's this one, which has it's quite a grey colour. You can see it just on the top here, which might work quite well with it. I've also got the Citadel version, which is Agrellan Earth. This is probably the best colour. It's very, very close, as you can see. I just don't have an awful lot in there, and I don't know how far it's going to go. But that one probably is the best bet, I reckon. Colour-wise, anyway. The quality is also very good. I've also got Agrellan Badland, which is just like a gritty texture. I don't think that's going to be really appropriate. I just kind of pulled it out just to show different textures or whatever. I've also got Crackle Medium from Vallejo. I bought this just because I was buying loads of stuff and it just came up on the list. I was like, add to cart, thank you very much, because I'm an impulse buyer. It's transparent, so I don't know how that's going to work. The idea, I think, is you would mix it with your own pigment. It says on the back, brush over base coat of acrylic colour. Once dry, cracks will appear. They will be more visible under second coat of contrasting colour. Use varnish to protect coating. So do not shake to avoid air bubbles. I shook that earlier. Whoops. I've also, just because I found it earlier on, some Green Stuff World splash gel. You mix this with little cotton ball bits and kind of thread them all up to make splashes or whatever. It's just I found that because we're looking at water. I thought I'd just talk about it quickly. Anyway, yeah. These two here are probably the best ones to go with. I don't know which one to use. What do you think? Jeff, Dad, which one would you like on there? I've got more of this one. I think it takes a little bit more to use, but then there's this one as well. Which one? Gonna let you have a think about it for a minute. The colour on this one is probably closer. You can see the colour through the top of the lid here. Look at that colour. It's almost identical. This one here is much greyer, but that might suit it. You're going to paint it anyway. We know you're going to paint it. Let you have a think. While I find a decent palette to put this on. Can I get this one out of here, I think, because this one needs a clean anyway. It's got some other pigments and textures and things on there. Cool. Let me just get a bit of cotton in there and just kind of wipe all that out. could add some pigment to it, see what that does to it, but maybe that'll affect it. Who knows? Mix them. Now, do you want to do that? This one's very, very thick and pasty. The other one's quite runny. On a client's thing, I'm going to make a call, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not on somebody else's stuff, man. No. A quick swig of tea. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to pull the trigger. I'm going to use the green stuff weld one, just because I know I've got lots there. I've got a couple of brushes that are going to be good for this. I've got my Citadel palette thingy, whatever you want to call it, scoopy palette thing. Actually, do you know what? This is a really good product. I really recommend getting it. Okay, let's just get a blob of this on the palette here. I'm going to put it in this one. Control it a bit more. Here we go. You can see that this one's really quite liquidy. That's the correct term, liquidy. But you can see that the colour is really quite grey when you compare it to this one. Adrian says, just posted a pic of a test bit of track. Exciting! I think I've got my recipe for the Tiger's track. Excellent! Oh, I'm looking forward to having a look at that. So yeah, here's the colour difference. So yeah, I'm going to paint it in this one because I've got more of it. I don't want to kind of run out halfway through. That would be embarrassing. So yeah, I'm going to use this one, and then it's up to you to paint over it, and I'll bring them around to you as soon as I possibly can. Right, I want another brush that's a bit shabbier, so I'll use my little airbrush mixing brush. Got the hiccups again. I've always got the hiccups on this show. It's nerves. Okay. Let's get this started then, shall we? So I'm going to try and get it all in this area. I know that those trees kind of get in the way, so I'm going to try and make sure that I've got the best angle here for you guys to see this. And I'm just going to get a big blob, and I'm just going to put it in quite thick. Now, when we were talking about this, we said that it would be ideal to have a mixture of thicknesses, because the thicker you put this on, the bigger the cracks become. And if you put it on really thin, they become really, really small pieces. So yeah, we want a mixture of them. So I'm just getting it, well, putting it big blobs in the center and just working my way out bit by bit. You can see it in there. Hopefully, I'm doing this at the beginning of the show, so we hopefully get to see what it's like as the show goes on. I'll keep coming back to it and having a little look, because this stuff does take quite a while to dry. We want to do it early so that we can see it. Now it stands out a bit because of that colour, but that's alright, you can blend it in. It's really easy to apply, and it's just such a simple thing. It just makes it so much fun. There we go. Just a little pool of it in there. Now I just try to neaten up the edges a little bit because I just want it to be a bit tidier. Just a fun little texture to have. Just another thing to draw the eye. Excellent. There it is. I'll take some photos of these as well later on and put them up on the Facebook. Now, whoever the customer is, whoever's ordered them, I hope you're watching right now. I know that this the link to this this show has been put out in different groups and forums and things. Thanks for letting me do this on the show. It's really nice to have something just a little bit different, do something for the community. So yeah, welcome to the show if you are watching. Consider coming along more often. The show has been very slow paced of recent because it's normally something between me and Kyle. My co-host is a very good friend of mine. We used to work together and set the show up together, and we don't live too near each other, so it's a great opportunity for us to communicate and have a chat and a catch up, and we just really enjoy just chatting away on the show, and kind of just talk about all the things that we enjoy geek wise, and that's kind of what we wanted for everybody, was just to kind of create an environment that people could just come on and paint along with, make some friends on the way, and we're watched the world over. Very small community at the moment. Has been for a while, but it does get bigger. It's a slow thing. I'm not here to, you know, be the next influencer, if you want to call it that. I'm here in earnest, just trying to create a nice social club for people. So if you're interested in it and inclined to do so, come along next week, the week after. Bring some friends, share the community, and as the community grows, hopefully the show will change and adapt to, you know, the community's needs, your needs. Some comments going in. Adrian says, tonight I'd be working through my tank companies, only 13 more to go. Jeff says, can blend the colours okay, add a little grout. Yeah. Grout is a wonder material, as is cat litter. So if you're trying to like find some nice rubble textures, yeah, cat litter and tile grout, have a go. You won't be disappointed. I need a little bit more of this texture paint in there. Bit of a shake. Although the other one says don't shake. Don't know if I should shake any of my crackle paints now. Been doing it wrong all this time. Cool. Trying to make it thicker in the middle because it seems it might be a good idea to have bigger cracks in the middle and smaller sections of cracks, etc. towards the outside. I don't know if that's a real thing. Sounds about right, doesn't it? There is a cat here and there. Oh my god, this cat just gets everywhere. I try to get her on the show as well. I try to bring her in. She won't have any of it. She'll sit in here when the show isn't on, whether I'm in here or not. But when the show's on, she's just like, I don't know, just telly shy or something. Stage fright kitty. And you think being so warm in here she might be in, but no, she is not interested. Just trying to be careful with this paint. I don't want to get it onto areas where it doesn't want to go. I don't think it's going to be as simple as removing just like a normal colour. If I accidentally go over with a colour, I can maybe just wash it away a little bit. Being a texture paint, I just want to make sure that I'm being as careful as I can. Obviously I don't want to get any on this water bit here, but also just on the kind of the rocks and things around as well. I've just got a little pop-up on my laptop here. Thank you, AVG. Brilliant. Thanks for trying to sell me stuff. Ads, man. Ads. Easy 8 is an ad-free environment, at least for the time being. As we get bigger, who knows? Maybe we'll have ads. But not right now. No, no, no. I just want one more blob in here, I think. Just one more. Where has it gone? Here it is. I keep shaking it. Stop shaking. Air bubbles, man. Apparently they're bad for this paint. It's becoming a bit difficult with this brush because, as you can see, some of the bristles just kind of poke off here sideways, and that is making it very difficult for me. So I'm not going to use this brush anymore. Let's wash that off. Let's see if I can do something with this tool. Just little bits on at a time. Just take your time, right? I think I might need to get a thin brush. It's actually quite difficult to do. It's good for making shapes and things, but just trying to scoop little bits into detail areas, it's quite hard. Okay, let's use my army painter brush to just make sure I clean it out properly at the end. Jeff says, sounds good. I think it's looking pretty good. Here we go. Anyone who's ordering anything from Jeff at Purple Lion Creations, you guys need to understand that it's like nearly 40 degrees in that workshop. It's horrendous heat. Went up there the other day and I just started sweating. I just stood there and I couldn't stop sweating. It was unbearable. And it's not like at the moment that you can't take your work anywhere else in the house because you're having your kitchen renovated and the whole house is being pulled apart. So there's literally just furniture and rubble everywhere. So yeah, real sweat and tears are going into making all of this stuff over there at the Purple Lion Creation Studio. Just bringing a smaller amount of this paint up to the shoreline there. Just make sure that it reaches an appropriate distance. I need a bit more. And I'm putting it in a little bit thinner than normal, just so we have thinner cracks. And I can see that just around this area here now it's actually starting to dry quite quickly, which is nice. So hopefully a little bit later in the show we'll be able to come back and actually have a look at this effect. And the colour, though isn't the same colour as everything around it, actually fits. Like the colour temperature is quite close. And that's good, because it means that with a bit of paint over the top, it might actually, just help make it stand apart a little bit more. There we go. I love this stuff, it's great. Cool, there we go. Now the reason I'm doing this today is because Jeff, my dad, doesn't have any of this paint and he's got so many orders back to back. It was just easier for me to take this, do something nice on the show, do something a bit different, do something for somebody in terms of my dad and the customer. Nice to bring a bit of attention to the show by doing it. So yeah, not something we've done before. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to bring a bit of attention to both this customer's work and nice little businesses out there. There we go. I think that's it. Just clean my brushes out. Clean up my other one as well. Dry them off. It is bonkers warm in here. Okay, so here we go. Here's this big one. You can see that it is drying in there nicely. Position my light a bit better. Oh, bumped the webcam. Like I said, I'm such a rubbish broadcaster, it's unbelievable. Yeah, hopefully that should be a really nice effect in there. And then of course we've got the little one, which is a little bit thicker in there. So they're going to have hopefully different appearances, different textures and things. Yeah, nice. Jeff says, take it right to the water. Okay, I will. Do you know what? Let's do that now. What about this one here? As you can see, this one, you actually steps down into this pool. So from sort of here, oh, getting shot down. Here we go. From here down to the pool is like a ledge. I can bring this right to the edge as well if you wanted to. Yeah, and this one here, I'll take it right up to the edge. I've got some more left in the pallets. That's fine. That's good. It's looking nice. I like it. Try and get the light to not reflect on the water effects there, so you can actually see what I'm painting. Okay, that's that bit done there. Now let's just go over to the side over here. Coming at a bit of a weird angle is quite difficult. Let's work my way right around from over here. Just kind of dab it in. Oh, it's working, it's working. Now with this particular brand of crackle paint, I have had it in the past where I put it on and it's not really had a great effect. Just go over with another coat and then it seems to work fine. So there is every chance that as I'm doing this, we come back to it later on and go, oh, that's a bit of a letdown. It just takes another quick coat over the top and then it does it. I don't really know why that is. I'm not really a scientist, and I'm sure there's a lot of science going into what's occurring in this paint. When I was doing my Tyranids a little while ago, if you remember the Biovore, I coated the whole base of that beast, and came back later on and was like, oh, it hasn't actually done anything, just in a couple of little places. And in some ways that might actually benefit this model, because it means that you'll have lots of smaller areas, and then I can just apply more thicker bits, and then you'll get that real mix of textures, crack sizes. Couple of bits left over, so just randomly place some bigger blobs, just like that, just like that. There we go. And what's really good fun with this sort of technique is once you've got this crackle effect and it's all dry, as you can just like you get a tool or whatever it is and just chip a few of those cracks away to make it look like something's disturbed that area, and it just makes it look nice and random, because nature is random. It's very cool. So yeah, we'll come back to those in a bit. Jeff says yeah, a thin coat. Okay, yep, cool. And I will add another layer of water anyway. Okay, yeah, onto that water area, so it doesn't matter so much if you go right to the edge. Cool. Now, really looking forward to seeing how that transpires throughout the show. What I want to do is I want to just kind of clean that all up, move them out of the way, and then we're going to crack on with some more of the Eldar Webway Portal, and then we'll come back to these little desert pieces later to see how that crackle paint is coming along, and maybe add a bit more if we need to. So let's just find a decent home for these, because I don't want them really in the way over here. I'll pop you down in there. Excuse me, got a bit of a cough there. And we'll move this one away as well. And I'll pop you just to the side. Are you going to stay there? Yes is the correct answer. Okay, exciting stuff. Loving it. So, Jeff says, looks terrific. Brilliant, glad you like it. Here's the Webway Portal. I really like it. I think it's really, really cool. I'm going to add, I was going to give it a slight dry brushing. At the same time, didn't really want to. I like the effect that's on it. I didn't really want to do anything more with it. It's ever so slightly shiny at the moment because I put a satin varnish on it. So I think I'm going to have a go at doing a metal effect on the inside of here. And you guys were saying brassy colours. So we've got the bronze and we've got the brass, and I think you guys were saying brass. So let's give it a go with some brassy brass. And if it looks rubbish, I can always go over with another colour. What's the big deal there, huh? So get my colour palette here. I'm going to get, do you know what? I'm going to go and use my expensive Raphael brush, because I don't use it very much and I feel like it might actually really help here today. It needs a bit of a clean because it's got some repair gel in there. So keep it nice and pointed, nice and shaped. And let's just water soluble, so just give it a wash off in the water there. That was clean water, by the way. That's just that crackle paint that's in there. I don't have dirty water all the time. Or do I? Right, so let's just get... I am going to give that a bit of a shake. Okay. That's quite a nice colour, and it's warm. It's a warm colour. It fits in with that brown colour that's on there. Looks really cool. Let's just see what it's like. It'll probably take a coat or two to get it looking really good. And I'm quite tempted to see what it looks like with a different wash over it. Maybe the blue wash over this warm metallic colour might add some interesting contrasts to it. Who knows? It's going on really well, actually. It's a really nice colour to brush on. I suppose because if this is a structure that is designed to have a portal that kind of comes out to the side that people or craft go through, this would be some sort of, you know, generator or spout or whatever you want to call it, spouty bit. So I don't know, it just looks like it should be different from the rest of the structure. I've got a couple of little gemstones at the bottom down there. Gonna just try and avoid them just because I don't want to be painting over metallic later on. Not a massive deal. I've never really struggled with painting over metallics before, but I know it's generally the convention. Don't do it. Okay, cool. There is a slight lip in here that I could get involved. I'm not gonna, like I say, I'm not gonna go over the top. There's opportunity to cover over it. A whole range of mistakes and things later on with weathering. And again, just really not that bothered about spending so much time on it. It's looking really good as it is. Who cares, right? Have fun just putting some paint on stuff. I can see there's more comments going in. I'll have a little look up in a second. So what's going in here? Jeff says dark brown stain on the brass, then dry brush. Yeah, you're right, I could do. Luke says just put the wash on the back, pop it outside to dry. Yeah, on the base and pop it outside to dry. Yeah, you're right, I could do. I was actually going to put a base on this. I was going to, when I was around Jeff's workshop the other day over at Purple Lion Creations, we were talking about getting some MDF and just cutting out a little base on the fret saw, but it was so hot, our synapses melted, and I forgot to. And I could have, finishing work today, driven around and go see, hey, you know, cut me out a base. But again, just hot, and I was running a bit late from work and just, you know, just life stuff, man. So I'm hoping that there's a few bits and pieces that I can do to this over the coming days, and maybe at next week's show, because I know I'm over ambitious with it. I know I'm not going to have it finished tonight because I'm such a slow painter, and it'll be a nice way of finishing it up next week perhaps, so get it to the point where we're looking to finish it almost, and then just, yeah, I've got some static grass and a static grass applicator, and I think that will look really, really nice. Now I'm trying to not go down the grim dark road with this. Like I said, I wanted it to be quite clean because the idea is that it's untouched really. It's just fallen into disrepair. It's an ancient thing, and you know, Eldar, man, everything's clean in my mind's eye anyway. Struggling with the straight edges there, or neat edges at least. It's on a curve, it's not exactly straight, is it? Oh, Jeff says bases are cut. Okay, cool. Leslie says, good colour choice, guys. Love that clear structure. Looks how that structure looks, dude. Nice job. Thanks, man. Apparently, I'm really struggling to read and talk tonight. Nothing new. Apologies for that. I'm not a pro. Thanks for coming along to the show anyway. I'm just having fun. Whatever. Judge me. You'll be pleased to know as well that I'm on the new network. I'm on the new internet. I'm running this entirely off of Wi-Fi as well, which is kind of controversial in the realms of live stream broadcasting. Kind of have to at the moment because we don't have many ports to hardwire into on this new router. So I'm going to be getting a splitter for it soon. But it's nice to know that it runs fairly smoothly on the Wi-Fi. And as soon as we've got the new connection sorted, we just ran a quick speed test on it, and instantly we were getting triple the upload speed, which is obviously important to me on this live show. So yeah, it sorted all our problems. It was a long journey, and the journey still goes on. Actually, we're still trying to get refunded for unnecessary charges that were costed to us. But yeah, the fact is now that we've got a decent internet provider providing us with a decent internet, and that's what we really wanted, you know. Right, struggling to hold it out because it's going up the other way. Now I could have airbrushed this on here to get a really nice quick and even coat, really smooth, but it's metallic, so the slightest miss or overspray would stand out like a sore thumb. And also I do like using the brush. After so much airbrush work on tanks and things, I do miss it. Definitely going to have to go over the second coat. It looks in some ways that it's nice and full, and then when you turn it into another direction in the light, you can see that it's very, very patchy. Don't want patchy. Want a decent covering, obviously. I think it's looking quite nice. Need a bit more there in the palette, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint some just on this patch here on my palette, which is the same undercoat colour there on the structure itself. And when this dries, I can go over with some of the washes and see how they affect the brass colour. So I can go over the black wash, I go over the brown wash, go over the blue wash, just see how that works. We know that that black works very well on this colour because that's what Kyle and I really liked. But it was the brass. This is brassy brass. We were using obviously the bronze colour on that particular show where we were checking out all those metallic colours. But yeah, the black, heavy black oil paint really smeared it on, then just kind of wipe it off. That was really good. That's what we really liked. But the more I get into painting, the more I realise I try to go away from black washes and things like Nuln Oil. The very well documented problems on this show with Nuln Oil as a specific product, and that's kind of driven me into experimenting with other brands and colours and things. And yeah, I really enjoy brands. I really like what they do in terms of filter. I always thought black was the be all end all, but it's not. But for me anyway. There we go. That's the first coat on there. I think that looks really nice. Just needs another coat over it. It's got a really nice shine to it. When it shines, yeah, that's really nice. Good choice, guys. Well done. Well done, community. Yeah, Jeff says it's brought the bone colour out. It really has, hasn't it? It really sets it off. And hopefully with a nice bit of weathering on it, it will look really, really good. And just little black gems on there will look really, really cool. I've also pulled out some more weathering colours to go over as well, so looking forward to getting those on there too. Right, gonna need some more of this brassy brass. It's nice to use brassy brass after all the hilarity it brought me and Kyle on that particular show. It even has it is the sole occupant of the quotes channel on the Discord server. Brassy brass. The best name for a colour we've ever found. I think I need to give my brush a bit of a wash out. I'm definitely going to have to change my paint water after this because metallics, right? Right, let's give it a wash out. Looks like I might even have to do a third coat on this, which I suppose it shouldn't be unexpected because these are airbrush colours after all, so they are that much thinner. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's nice seeing how models change, like the character of the thing that it is you're painting. It's a bit difficult to kind of get in and around there. There's a lot of texture on this model because of the FDM style printing, all those little print lines where I haven't sanded them away properly because I was lazy and could not be bothered. But I'll hide it in layers of weathering and things. And who knows, maybe when Eldar create the structures, it's supposed to be like a physical manifestation of psychicness. Maybe they create things in a like a printer style. 50 microns at a time, man. Who knows? In the 41st millennium, there is 3D printing. I can see more comments going in. I'll be right there, Chris. I know it's you. I know it's you. Chris says, don't get me started when it comes to metallics or glitter colours. Yeah, is there a solution? An alternative to glitter particles? I mean, the simple solution is what Darren Van said a few weeks ago, which is just have a separate water pot for it. It's great, yeah. Excuse me. But there's just only so much space on my desk, and I'm an untidy painter, so I have stuff everywhere. Is there such thing as a tidy painter? I don't think I've ever seen a tidy work in progress workshop. Never trust a tidy painter. apologise to all the tidy painters out there. Oh, I just dipped it in the paint. What a pleb. Fortunately right at the bottom, so I can always weather over that later. Let's let's get a bit of water on that. What a doofus. Okay, it's just on one side there. Okay, not the end of the world. Right, brilliant. What a spoon. A bit of a bold patch there. Just cover that over. Neaten up that edge a bit more, because that does stand out a little bit. There we go. Let's just bring it up here. Okay. Absolutely going to take one more coat, and that is fine. We are pretty close to taking a quick break from here, so yeah, I'm just going to get this little layer done, and then hopefully that'll be the end of working with metallic, so I can go and change my water. Definitely going to have a third coat on there. That is okay. Yes, a little streaky, a little patchy, just in some places. Just kind of neaten up that edge a bit more as well. Okay. It is a nice colour though. It's a very nice colour. I like it. And I think that a blue colour might work on it really well. Just going to stick another thin layer over that test patch so that I come back to it in a bit. And we've got a nice solid colour to work with when it comes to testing washes. Excellent, okay. Just going to give that a chance to settle and dry in this heat. Might even blow some air over it quickly with the airbrush, and then I'll put a last little coat on while we're having the interval. So if you need to grab yourselves a couple of minutes to yourself, have a little walk around, stretch your legs, refocus your eyes, and go change your paint water, you should definitely go and change your paint water, and we'll be back here in about 10 minutes time. See you in a bit. Welcome back. I actually went and changed my paint water. I had to. There was so much glitter in there. Hope you had a good break. Hope you're having a good evening so far. Getting loads of stuff painted. Lots of really exciting projects on the go out there at the moment. I've just changed my paint water. Put some black in there, so it's instantly undone all of that. Put a third coat on the brassy brass. Looking really good. Really smooth. A nice solid colour on there. A little untidy in some places. Who cares? I don't. Yeah, so now I'm looking at putting some black on some of those gems, which I can then a little bit gloss as well. I kind of wanted to get that done before any weathering. But before we go any further, I'm just going to nip over here and have a little look at those desert pieces and see how they're getting on. So to do that, let's take you over to the workbench. Boop, here we go. I always say boop whenever I go to the different screen. Just a habit. Starting to work. It is absolutely starting to. Some really, I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna zoom in here. I've got a zoom ability. Let's get that. Here it is. It's just starting to come together there. So yeah, it's gonna crack so much more. And hopefully it should break up a lot more. There's some bigger pieces in here, as you can see, just in here. That'll probably break up into a couple of sections as well. And there's lots of little ones coming right up against the edge of the shoreline there. Yeah, it's looking really, really good. Quite happy with that. It's looking pretty cool. Let's have a little look at the other piece as well. Get that big one put over there. It's the rest on the edge. We've got the little pool. Cracking, but taking a little bit longer because it went on a bit thicker here. So yeah, again, I'll zoom in. You can see that those cracks are taking a little bit longer to form because the paint is so much thicker, but that should leave some really big, really chunky cracks. Really quite excited to see how that goes. We'll take another look at these at the end of the show and see how they're kind of progressing on. So yeah, like to know what you think, Jeff, Dad. It's a bit weird calling you Jeff. I have to be honest with you. Luke says, hey. Christopher says, that looks cool, and you're almost done with your dragon. Exciting. Looking forward to having you posting that on the show, which you definitely should do. You should definitely post that on the Facebook page, please do. So over here, a little bit of black paint. This is just one of those really cheap pound shop paints that you can get. Literally just a couple of quid. My partner bought some for just doing some, fun hobby stuff around, days off and things. But the pigment is just so strong in it. It's really good, one-hit wonder. It's quite a thick paint, so I've added a bit of airbrush flow improver in there, smooths it up, and just a drop of water as well. So I'm just going to paint these. Hopefully that bronze brassy brass is dry. I don't want to get my fingers all over it. I'm just going to paint these little gemstones here. These are going to be a bit more fiddly, I think, to paint than I want them to be. So if they're going to take forever today, just to kind of get on and do something really fun and really cool, Jeff says, nice! Excellent, glad you like them. I just put that in the paint again. I'm such a plonker. Yeah, if it's going to take forever to get these painted tonight on the show, I want to kind of get on with the really exciting stuff of weathering this and making it look ancient. Then I can come back to the gems, in my own time and do it then. I could really do with a finer point this brush, and it doesn't seem to have it on here, so I might go back to using my Kolinsky brush. Sirens in the background, my window open, so if you can hear that, it's at my end, not at yours. Christopher says, I will put it in the Discord later. Pop it on Facebook too. Oh, but you did say you're not on Facebook. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, Discord's fine. Thanks. Here's me always badgering you for a social media site that you don't use. Yeah, I think I need need to use my other brush. I'm going to head on over to that one now because I'm just making a bit of a pig's ear of that. But it does give you the idea what it will look like. It just needs a bit of a finer point touch. That's all it does. Okay. Better. During the interval as well, I actually gave these brushes a really good clean with my Green Stuff World paintbrush cleaner because just didn't want to risk having glitter pigments in any of the future colours. Such a thick paint's actually holding some of the bristles together in clumps. I do not want this to happen. Thank you very much. It's actually quite a tricky piece to hold. And the paint is so thick, it's actually pulling the previous coat away with every pass. I'm going to add a bit of water to this, I think. There we go, it's a bit smoother, which is going to make it thinner. It's going to have a couple of coats. I'm probably not going to do all of these tonight in the interest of doing fun stuff on the show. That's a nice smooth edge I just painted there. This brush is such a good brush. Definitely worth the price tag. Because it's a 3D print and a fast one, the edges of these gems, these little semi-spheres if you want, are they're not very well defined, so trying to create an edge with the colour isn't all that easy, and I've just ruined it a little bit there and just gone a little bit too heavy. Had a little bit of a hand jitter. Just trying to let the motion of the bristles really do the work, like a sign painter, and kind of really scoop those bristles around, and it kind of flicks up and rolls in. That's a bit easier. Yeah, do it like that. That's a bit better. I'll get in my zoom function here so you can see a bit easier. There we go. Probably will only need a second coat on these. I hope. This is a bit tedious, to be honest. I just don't know how to hold it. I don't want to touch the brass colour in fear of like getting any residue on my fingers. There's also ever so slight print texture on these as well, which is probably not helping the transfer of paint. Probably dragging it off a little bit as the bristles move around. Come back to those and give those a second coat in a little bit. So what I really want to achieve as an end result with this is a structure that looks out of place but not out of place. And that's a stupid sentence, but I want the materials to look alien, and I want the structure to look like it belongs there. Just something from, you know, ancient past, just sat in the middle of nowhere. Maybe some, you know, explorer fleet kind of comes across it. Oh, what's this? Spend centuries kind of researching it and wondering what it is, and perhaps if there are locals or, you know, indigenous people that live near it, maybe they worship it or something, or it's become a part of their history or culture. No one really knows what it is, but the materials to look just a little bit out of phase. It is a bone, but it's not a bone. It looks natural, but it's clearly been created. It had a purpose, and that purpose is something that no one knows. So its whole existence is an enigma. But it should be comfortable on the eye, and that comfort, I think, comes from a clean appearance, and then sat in an environment which, you know, we know as normal. So, you know, grasslands or something, you know, not with alien trees and pinks and purples, but with natural greens and things that are familiar to us. This gem zone is a little bit easier to paint because I think I did a better job of sanding this one. Getting a bit of an idea of what it's going to look like. I like it. Needs a bit of neatening up, but it's fine. Now I've got these ones down here at the bottom of the brass. Add a bit of water to that black. Make sure I'm in shot. I am. Okay, cool. These ones down here probably be quite dirty, so it doesn't really matter so much if I'm not very accurate with them. This is the sort of thing I'm trying to avoid. Yep, touched it. Right in the middle there, look. Idiot. This is why it takes me so long to paint stuff, it's just because I'm such a noob. This particular stone here in the middle of these bottom ones has quite a texture to it from the print, so if I put the paint in heavy it might help to fill those lines a little bit. I'm just using every cheat thing that I can think of to make a really cheap effort look better. Not too bad, not too bad at all. Actually really quite happy with it so far. These ones down here are going to need quite a bit of extra attention when it comes to neatening them up, but that's alright. I'm really glad I chose to varnish this last week for the amount that I'm handling it, and my hands are so sweaty because of the heat today. I would just be pulling all of that colour off. Whew, it is so warm in here. For all of my viewers in warmer climates, in the UK we don't have aircon. It's just not something we have. I wish we did. Okay, a couple of little black stones down there, some black stones down the side, looking really nice. I'm going to make a quick pass over these ones on this side over here, and then just going to get to the fun bit, which is weathering, right? Because that's what we're all here to see, is to see this thing, the age of it, come alive a little bit. So, as quick as I can, without being an idiot. Was nearly an idiot then. I wanted to get all these gemstones done during the week, but you know, work has a certain priority at the moment. Especially with my colleague who's broken her ankle and has been in surgery today and has had metal plates bolted to her leg and is absolutely off her kite on painkillers. Just a simple little skateboarding accident has fractured her ankle in 3 separate places with a double dislocation just for good measure. So yeah, been picking up some slack in an already busy period at the moment, so I haven't had the time that I normally would have to put to my hobbies. Got a little bit of time coming up, not just necessarily on the holiday, but we're getting a bit smoother in our operation at work. And to be fair, I have had time this week. It's just been so hot, I've just not been interested in existing. So yeah, there's been that. See, the problem in the UK is it's just so humid and it makes the heat very uncomfortable. It's not like being in the Mediterranean, which is not that far away from us really, when you think about the size of the world. I know that we've got viewers in California and in Sydney, but it's not the same, man. It's not the same. You guys live in quite an arid climate, and you have things like humidifiers, which is just an alien concept to us. I didn't even know that existed until a little while ago. We're actually putting moisture into the air. We have dehumidifiers, which is like a mobile aircon unit that takes the hot moisture out of the air and cools everything down. We actually have one in the house. We use it to stop the house from getting damp because it's that humid, it gets damp here. And also it's really good at drying your clothes. Saves on having a tumble dryer, which just destroys your clothes and the environment. Small houses here in the UK, steam from cooking, or just the humid environment can really affect the house. But yeah, no aircon. some of these are going to need some real neat edges applied to these. Well, that's not too bad. I think I've gone over the edge on that one a little bit, but it's so black you can't really tell unless you're really looking for it. And then the last one just down here, which again is really quite smooth. Makes such a difference. Bit of water in there, it's a bit thick. There we go. That is the basic look that I'm going for. So yeah, some black dots, some black dots, some black dots, and I'll neaten those up as they go. I think it looks really quite nice now. Getting a real idea of the general aesthetic of it. Right, what I'm going to do now is have a little look at some of these washes and how they affect that brass colour. So come back to my my palette here, and hopefully you can see without the light reflecting on it. So that's the colour of that brass colour just here. So I've got a choice of sepia. I could use Agrax. I think it'll be too dark, but I'll give it a little look. I've also got where's it gone? Here it is, my blue tone, to see how that'll affect it as well. And I could use a bit of Nuln on it. I don't have any Nuln out here at the moment, so I could just use some really watered down black and see how that goes on there as well. I don't really bring my Nuln oil out anymore because I just don't get on with it really. A bit of a fight with it. So let's go straight over with some Seraphim Sepia, because this is the colour that I've already used all over this model, and I'm just interested to see how it blends on this colour, which to me is very similar. So well, here we go. It actually makes it look quite gold. Yeah, you can see that there. Interesting sort of colour. Makes it look more metallic. Is that yeah, maybe. Let's move over to Agrax Earthshade, which is a much darker brown. Give that a shake. Jeff says, looking good. Thanks, man. Let's have a look at this one here. So, Agrax Earthshade. It's actually, even though it's another brown, it almost cools it down. So the difference you can see here between those. There's the Agrax in this corner, and this is... Sorry, the Agrax over here and the sepia is over there. You can see it's almost like a black brown. I don't think that's going to do it any favours. If anything, I quite like the Seraphim over it. Okay, let's get some real watered down black. Make a little wash out of this. Really thin that down. Nope, needs to be thinner than that. Nope, thinner than that. Come on, water, do your magic. Almost there. Here we go. So here's some black. I'd need to probably use some transpirator in there, because that's just kind of pulling away with water tension, which isn't an effect I want, but that's actually not a bad look. You can see where it's running into the creases and things just here, that's actually Not a bad look, and I could do a mixture of this one to kind of get it into some of the details and then use filters and colours and things over here. But the one I'm really interested in looking at is this blue colour. This is quite a strong colour by Army Painter. Let's have a look at this. I'll put a drop just here. It's quite an intense colour. There it is. I bought this for using on greys to kind of to see if it would make Tyranid terrain look different. Actually looks quite good. I might roll with this one. What do you think, community people? Maybe it will look really good over the top of that, so adding 2 filters to it. So using the Seraphim Sepia and then a little bit of, let's see what happens if I just apply a little bit of air, see if I can dry it down. Yeah, dry. Get dry. Drier. Yeah. Yeah. Then I can give it a coat with a satin varnish and make it just like a little semi-shiny.